morning. It's 8 o'clock on a Tuesday. Glad you're with us to start the day warm this morning. 40 some odd degrees. It's going up to 55. This week looking pretty good. We're going up to almost 60 by Thursday, which, hey, you can't complain about this time of year, right?
Well, then the snow comes back, but don't worry about that.
Don't let the facts get in the way of a good story.
There are bad news here.
Oh my gosh. So did you get outside? Did you enjoy yesterday?
Yeah, Bandit and I went for a little walk. We had a good time. I took a real nap yesterday, though.
Yeah. It's hard when you first come back from vacation.
So I came back from vacation, but also like at the time change too. I texted him in the afternoon. I was like, I napped hard.
Okay, well, so yesterday you were saying it didn't affect you.
Yeah.
Today it's a change tune, huh?
Whoops.
Yeah, I think that time change is having a role on the way I'm sleeping. I'm not gonna lie, I did not get a great night's sleep last night either. And I think I went to bed later as a result of the sun staying out longer.
Oh, agreed. Yeah.
I don't want to go to bed when it's light out.
No, me either. So that's different, right? Because like I usually am like really winding down for bed by 7 p.m. And yesterday I was like 7 p.m.
Right. Sun's still out.
Hey.
We didn't get to bed until probably 9 o'clock last night. Yeah. And that's abnormal for us.
Yeah.
That's a late night. Marguerite says naps are needed sometimes. I agree.
And I usually do nap. Like we usually take a nap. Like
not together.
No, not together. What's happening? We do usually take a nap, but I mean, yesterday I really fell asleep. Like I slept till way past I usually do.
Like what time?
I don't know. Like whatever time I text you. Closer to 4.
I was still sleeping when you had texted me.
But I think I went to I was like.
I usually sleep 1 to 4.
1 to 4.
Yeah.
You take a long nap.
I have to because I don't sleep. much. I feel like you need to have that extra time.
So my friend got a book about morning news.
And
is reading it right now, and he's like, most of it we know a lot of the stuff. He goes, but the one thing they did mention is the psychological changes that come when people don't sleep and how they can be so irritable and this and this and this. And I was like, haven't noticed.
Yeah, no, not me. Irritable? Not at all.
That doesn't sound right.
You're welcome, Peter. Danielle says, I love naps, but I feel when I wake up, I'm more tired. I actually have found that also sometimes.
Yeah.
But I need to have that nap. If I don't have it, I'm nasty.
By the afternoon, I'm starting to really fade.
Yeah,
for sure.
No doubt.
For sure.
Danielle loves naps with her dog. He sees the blanket and he knows it's nap time. It's so funny. Gladys has a nap time ritual that has become the funniest thing in the entire world.
Your nap time or her nap time?
It's
our both. It's our nap time
ritual. She needs to find her stick to chew her stick before she gets in her crate and takes her nap.
Is it like a snack stick?
It's a cheese stick.
Oh,
So it's like that Yak's milk? It's like a cheese.
The Himalayan cheese thing.
She loves it.
Yeah.
So she lays down on the floor. She starts chewing and munching. And then when she's done, it tires her out. She goes to bed.
Now, does this one stick last a long time?
A couple of weeks.
See, I've never given one to Bandit because I feel like he would ingest it.
Get a big one.
Yeah, I'm a little nervous. He is an eater.
Well, and you know what you do afterward? Do you have dogs? Do you know what we're talking about here? It's these little Himalayan chews. They look like just blocks of cheese. You put it in the microwave after and it kind of blows up. And it's something that they chew and crunch on. Yeah, I mean, it's kind of gross. But
does your dog get greenies?
No.
Oh my God, that's like the word in our house. At night after dinner, like eventually Bandit comes over, he starts to whine a little bit, and you're like, do you want? And he's like, say it. And they're like, did you want you can no sooner get greenie out of your mouth when he is already gone.
Oh gosh.
And you're like,
what? It cleans their teeth. Kelsey, good morning. Nap when the baby naps, except when you have a feral 3-year-old who has no idea what calming down really means.
Fantastic.
And then Jeanette says, weird thing about this is that adult coloring books or even making a homemade card can be therapeutic during the day. Oh, I like that.
I love coloring so much. Coloring is so much fun.
It is. It's very relaxing, isn't it? It takes your mind off everything. I love when Alana, our 7-year-old niece, I'm glad you want to color with me. Absolutely. And there was one day, I think I told you this story, where I was a little bit ill the day after having a night out, and all she wanted to do was color, and it was the greatest day ever.
Thank God. I cannot do anything else. Yeah.
So funny.
Jeff Baker says he runs out of the room with beer.
No kidding. Connie, thank you very much. Appreciate it. Look, the whole version is yet to come. It's a major story, and
I mean, it is an 11-minute piece.
yeah, it's a long one.
That's tonight.
But it moves, and it is fascinating because not only are you hearing the story, the voice of a pregnant patient, you're also hearing the voice of a whistleblower and the voice of the dentist who, quite frankly, admits to wrongdoing.
Mm.
And in doing so, the patient is floored. So you'll hear all of that. On WKBW.com, you can read the full investigation for yourself right now. You can read it for yourself. It's just a fascinating look at what goes on behind closed doors that you would have no idea about.
Jeanette already said she set an alarm for your story so she doesn't miss it.
Ah, thank you, Jeanette. 6 o'clock tonight, right here on 7 ABC.
6 o'clock tonight, people.
Right. Megan saying off the record. Exactly. So off the record, this dentist says he knows exactly what he did. He told the whistleblower exactly what he used and why he used it, deceiving the patient, of course, but then on the record says, I got no idea what you're talking about.
Yeah.
So I confront him about that.
All right, very good. Let's move to Brandon's comment here. Brandon, I think he's talking about the Hamburg layoffs. So we do want to talk about that right now.
Oh, yeah. Okay. I was wondering what he was trying to say here. Yes. Okay.
I'm not sure. Okay. 25 layoffs are cleaned up. We're not getting rid of teachers. All right. Well, let's talk about what we know. Okay. So in Hamburg, we have learned 16 teachers and staff
Staffers,
positions.
right.
So it could be aides, teachers, staff positions, will be laid off, and 10 other positions will not be filled again. So they're ultimately losing 26 positions in the district. I know people who work there. They were reaching out to me yesterday. This is a big deal for these people. You have kids in that district. Parents have a lot of questions here.
So you know a lot of people. I do too.
Mm-hmm.
And I got a tip from inside the school yesterday.
Same.
One of the things that one of the people I spoke with said, and I don't want to use their position or their title because I want to make sure that we're keeping them anonymous.
But also know that should you reach out to us with
what
questions and concerns, we will look into it for you.
What this person told me was that the teachers union had just signed a contract, and one of the stipulations in signing this contract was that there would be no layoffs. And so here we are, the school district now kind of, it seems at least, if you read between the lines, thinking that now laying off those teachers, they already got their pink slips basically saying that they weren't being laid off.
Right. So we reached out to the superintendent's office. They didn't comment right now. No comment there. Tonight, though, there's a Board of Education meeting, and you can bet it is going to be packed.
Well, they moved it from one school to another. It went from, I think, someplace on Charlotte Elementary. Was it Charlotte Elementary or Charlotte Avenue?
Well, it's at Armour now.
Right. And then they moved it to Armour.
Because they need space. They think. Well.
They know. They know.
I'm going to anticipate that's why the movement has happened. Because, already look at what people are saying here. Katie, this is what's wrong with society. We think it's okay to pay athletes an unbelievable amount of money, yet we cut teachers. And she also said it is unbelievable what's happening here in Hamburg.
Yeah. All districts are cutting teachers, Lacey says, because of COVID money being discontinued.
Mm-hmm.
Right. We know in Buffalo in particular, there's that $90 million hole that needs to be filled.
And I got to tell you, I had somebody else reach out to me today from another district. So we're going to start looking into that because a lot of people are saying it is this COVID money. Mm-hmm. They hired a lot of teachers, aides, staff. And the question is, are these districts going to be able to hold those positions?
To that point, though, a lot of the concern inside the Hamburg School District in particular, especially among the people who work there, is that there was a financial mismanagement situation. And in fact, the person who apparently managed the finances was let go quietly, is what the talk is. So Kim wondering, can they go back on a contract the school system made? Is it in writing or was it a verbal agreement? Those are all details that we need to look into here. Unless it's in writing, really, then it doesn't happen, right?
Yeah.
I've learned that.
That's the honest to God's truth. You've got to get everything in writing. And you know what? Maybe it was. Maybe there are stipulations with certain kinds of money. You know what I mean?
Right.
Because that COVID money came with different stipulations. Again, these are the ideas of where this is coming from. We have yet to hear from the district directly, so we have to wait and see.
Marianne, so were these hired for Hamburg to help them with at-home learning, and now they don't need them and they got COVID money for them? It doesn't seem that way. It seems like these people some of them retiring. They're not filling those positions, so they've been there a while, considering the age of the person who's retiring. But it seems also as if they are letting go of more than a dozen people for whatever reason.
Too, and I can't speak to this happening in Hamburg because, again, we don't know exactly what's going on. But consider if a school district was to get money that they didn't have, you could hire someone else. You could kind of like thin out your class size. And then let's say something changed, you had to get rid of people, then, class. And that's the concern of Hamburg parents right now, is that class sizes might increase too. Like, there's a lot of things that go with it. Now, again, because we haven't heard from the district, it's hard to answer those questions, but I would expect we'll be hearing something tonight, at least from the board.
Okay, so Kim says teachers sign it though, so it had to be in writing. That's not necessarily the case. Okay, so let me give you a good example, and this is a personal example. When I worked at a different TV station, not this one, but another one across the street, and there was some different leadership that came in. We had an agreement that they would pay for your makeup, right? Because we all wear makeup in TV. Big secret.
I don't.
Please.
Hey.
New leadership came in and they're like, well, we're not doing that anymore. I'm like, well, but I had an email that said this. So they're like, okay, show me the email. Gone. The email just suddenly vanished and disappeared. So they stopped paying for makeup. I mean, this is a very minor example, but I mean, really, unless it's in black and white and part of the contract, then maybe they don't honor it. They don't have to honor it. You know what I mean?
Interesting. So again, there's still a lot of questions here. What we do know is those numbers. We do know parents are definitely going to be at that meeting tonight. And also, I was mentioning today to Ed, all these people we know in Hamburg, whether or not they're at the actual schools, there are purple, whatever they call it, backgrounds on Facebook on so many people's pages supporting the Hamburg teachers.
Okay, so Carrie, you need to tell people how they can comment. I've been trying to figure it out for months. Are you talking about here on Second Cup? You can go on to our WKBW Facebook page, or are you talking about the Hamburg meeting? That meeting is tonight at 6:30 at Armour Elementary School. So if you are interested in going to that meeting, it starts at 6:30. I even believe that there's going to be some sort of gathering ahead of time. And let me just pull that up. I know we had an email.
And Carrie, if you are talking about this, hopefully it looks like you have then figured it out, because you would be able to comment, and we've got your comment right here. So let us know. We're here for you either way. Yeah, Connie says, this is why you should really print out everything. Jeanette says, I really hope that parents attend. It means a lot to everyone involved.
Okay, so this is from the Hamburg parents. They are troubled by recent developments surrounding the termination of 16 teachers. Parents call for media attendance at the upcoming Hamburg Central School District Board of Education meeting. The meeting will comprise a budget session at 6 p.m. followed by a regular meeting at 6:30. Parents hope this meeting will serve as a platform for open dialogue and collaboration, and stress the collective responsibility of working towards solutions and prioritizing the educational needs and well-being of the Hamburg School District students. Now, does this mean that you're actually going to be able to speak at this meeting? Is there a Q&A session? Is there a public comment period? I don't really know how that works at school board meetings, to be honest with you. But unless there is one of these public comment periods, you don't really get to talk.
Well, we've also covered meetings where, things go into an executive session. They have to, and that means, the public can't go in. So there's a lot of different things. Rest assured, we'll have someone there tonight. Going to be covering it. Maria, I see your comment too. I understand these are hard decisions to be made. I also think parents have received the information about it more time. Their parents should have received the information about it. Barb was commenting about how to comment on here. Carrie says how to comment. Yeah, she was talking about how to comment here. Barb says if you got an iPad, you want to slide your finger from right to left near the bottom of your screen.
Jeanette says open dialogue is key, and that is correct. Can you speak your mind, or are you just listening? Right. So it depends what the agenda has.
Yeah.
And time will tell, right? We'll be covering this for you. And of course, we'll be sure to post all these updates for you on WKBW.com.
Connie was going to ask who's coming from our station. Not sure yet. Probably someone who's working a night side shift.
I just want to go back to Peter's question really quick about the dentist in particular. He's wondering, when the medical assistant was recording, I assume the doctor was not aware. Correct. Is it still legal in New York State to record a conversation without the other person's consent?
Great question.
So New York State is a one-party consent state. So
this is actually an important thing, I feel, for people to know.
Yeah, sure. So be careful what you say.
Well, break it down for everybody. What does that mean?
So one party has to agree to the recording. So it could be the person who's literally doing the recording.
So if you're recording, if I'm recording me and Ed, I can agree to that.
Right. And I could have no idea. And God help us.
Now, The other question would be, are there legal ramifications for that kind of stuff?
I would say probably not.
There-
I mean, in our case in particular, she handed us the recording. So it's not like we went in there and surreptitiously recorded this dentist saying
Sure.
X, Y, and Z. But again, New York State is a one-party consent state. So as long as she's consenting to the recording,
Which
and
she
was
is, 'cause
part
she
of the
pushed it.
conversation, right? Chances are she's covered.
So anyways, I think that is an interesting thing for people to know, right?
Right. So tonight at 6 in the comments, John just put in the comments the link to the story as well.
Very good.
Okay, what else do we want to talk about here this morning? There's a lot going on here in Western New York, and a lot. Oh my gosh, did you see Adam dancing this morning? Wasn't that so funny?
Yeah, that was adorable. Let's really just briefly talk about this.
The gum.
Did you know that the company that makes Big League Chew is in Akron? I'm sure some people did, but Ford Gum in Akron. And now they're kind of doing like a rebirth of gum, which is really kind of interesting.
Yeah, I chew gum all the time.
So did people, they were saying they're kind of reinventing themselves in a way because gum habits changed. And like an example the guy gave during the pandemic was like the gum ball machines. We weren't really touching those. We weren't scraping a piece of gum out of a machine where everybody else's hands were. So that changed. And so now they kind of like shifted a little bit of their business model. Can we just say this smells so good? Ed opened his this morning. We've been sniffing it all morning.
Well, do you know what it is? Do you remember that pink medicine that you used to love taking as a kid?
Amoxicillin.
Or yeah, I was allergic to penicillin.
If you had like ear infection.
Yeah, exactly. Or strep throat or something. This is the smell of it. Oh God, it was the best.
They probably flavored. I mean, I would say most kids got amoxicillin, but they probably flavored so many things. Like, oh, here's that pink strawberry flavor. Here you go, give it to your kids.
Okay, but it comes out in shreds.
Amazing.
So what do? You like take the like? How do you chew this?
I think it's supposed. It's got like the background of like
dip.
Right? Yeah, for lack of a better phrase. Yeah, chewing tobacco. I mean, like we're talking years ago, right? But this is bubble gum.
Vincenzo just took that pink medicine that we're talking about.
I'm sorry, what?
Okay, so the thing about gum,
does it taste as good as it smells?
Yeah, absolutely. Have
some. It just smells so good. Okay. Well, why don't I wait to have some until you can actually talk again?
Well, that's fine. I just got a big wad in my mouth.
You sure did.
Oh, okay, come on. That's wimpy.
I'll put more.
You're a softball player.
It is good.
I know. Do you think it blows good bubbles?
I bet it does. Marguerite said she didn't think that Big League was, or didn't know that it was made in Akron. So Hannah did this adorable story. John, can you also link that too whenever you have a chance about how they're kind of reinventing themselves? And she takes you inside the gum factory. We're like watching. We're like, that's a lot of gum.
Yeah, who knew? Do you know what's so interesting? Manufacturing in Western New York used to be a really big thing. And look, it still is. We still have cheese being made here by Galbani, right? We have Milkbone being made here.
How about in Akron, where you can walk from here to the Perry's plant?
Well, right. Perry's, Akron. We have the Oatka milk plant. We've got Rosina, Celentano. You know, I mean, like there are so many little manufacturing plants around, but nothing compared to what it used to be back in the day. ADM still here making flour, General Mills, all of these things. But those grain elevators, I mean, they used to dot the skyline here. Now they're all vanishing.
This gum is really good. I'm not going to lie. We were smelling it all morning, and it is really tasty. It does bring you back to being a kid, honestly. This was created in 1977. But didn't we say today they started making gum even earlier than that? But this particular one, 1977. The idea was simple, shredded bubble gum in a stay fresh pouch.
I did not like bazooka gum.
I didn't know if you could seal it again. I was trying to figure it out. I don't think so. But it's really
good. Gum. Uh-oh.
No. Oh, God. Anyways, remove yourself. There you go.
Here's how it's made.
Here's some of the gum. Dear Lord. We're letting Ed clean himself up for a second here. If you're just joining us, because I see there are a lot of people who aren't usually with us, welcome to Second Cup. This is what the show usually
chaos
goes right off the rails. Okay, let's talk spring cleaning too, because I just love this story. We've got about 5 minutes left. Hit us with your best spring cleaning tips. Do you have one? Or what is the one thing you've got to spring clean? Mine is under the dumb couch. I hate doing it because we have a sectional.
But why don't you just do that all year? Like, why do you wait till spring?
Oh, do you clean under your couch all the time?
I can't get to the bottom of my couch.
Well, then that's why no one does it. Because you got to take the whole couch apart. We got a sectional. You got to like move that whole darn thing. I can't do it by myself. Why would I do that all the time?
Thank you, Linda. My point exactly. Georgina, though, says windows. So does Danielle.
Windows. Oh, what a pain.
Do you move your windows from like storm windows to screens? Do you have that at your house?
On a couple windows, we do. But really, we mostly have screens. And no, I don't.
Bob, is this true? Is this something that you do?
The house with a leaf blower.
Jeff just said the same thing.
It's hard to know because both of them are jokesters.
I know.
So I don't really know. Kim,
Barbara.
Murphy's oil soap. Oh, the curtains. God, the curtains.
Murphy's make the floor look so good. Oh, the ceiling fans are gross.
Oh my God, I just said that to Paul the other day.
The layer of dust on top of them.
Why do they get, and when you go to wipe it off, why is it always like gummy? It's not like easy to dust.
Maybe you're not using the right.
You want to know why it is?
Are you using cheap stuff?
No, it's in the kitchen. We have a ceiling fan in the kitchen, and I'm sure it's everything that
The grease.
It's everything in the air. Disgusting. That I do have to do more than once.
Kitchen, okay. Curtains. So, gosh, the one thing that I know needs to be cleaned is under the radiators. One thing we do in the spring is turn off the registers. You know how we have in old Buffalo houses, you've got the like standalone radiators.
Yeah, you have radiator heat.
Yeah. And they're steam powered, so you have to drain all the water out of them.
Oh.
It's a big
this
hassle.
sounds exhausting.
Yeah,
we have forced hot air, even though our house is really old.
Well, we do too. So we have both. So we've got the forced hot air, and then we also have the radiators, which is why the house is a sauna.
In different places? Why do you have both?
Well, because we've got central air.
Uh-huh.
So if you've got central air, you can also do forced hot air.
Usually you force hot air and then you add the central air. Or maybe you added your air conditioner and then they were like...
Well, we had the air conditioner after the radiators. The radiators just go on. You can turn them on. It's just through the boiler.
So you use both?
Which is, again, why the house is a GD
This
sauna.
sounds crazy to me. I need Russ to explain this to me, why we're heating our house two ways.
Thank you. I agree. Let's call him up and see if he answers. Because I concur.
That's a lot.
I know. It's ridiculous if you ask me.
Carrie, I hear you, girl. Hates cleaning the fridge. Although, doesn't it feel better once it's all done? I do like that.
Do you think he's going to answer? I don't.
Connie says yes. The kitchen fan is gross.
I just like shampooing the rugs. Oh my God, it's going to kill you.
Hello.
Russell, so glad you answered. You're live on Second Cup.
Hi, Russ.
I have a question for you.
Yes.
Why do we heat the house with both forced hot air from downstairs in the basement and the radiators?
Now, why do you have two heating forms, Russ?
Well, I like to stay warm.
No, but
Thank you.
realistically,
See, exactly.
Russ,
I knew it.
But realistically, why both of them? Why don't you just keep one?
Well, realistically, the house was built 125 years ago with no insulation, so the heat is very uneven.
Okay.
So we have to use the forced air for the back of the house and the radiators for the front of the house to keep a nice even temperature.
Now, thank you. That explanation makes a lot more sense than what Ed was trying to say.
That he's always cold and he could just put a sweater on.
Well, we understand that, but he actually has
Ed
a real
does not
reason.
know how to use a thermostat.
Goodbye, Russ. See you later. Thanks so much for your input. I love you so much,
Thank you, Russ, for actually making sense.
No problem. Anytime.
Bye, buddy.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
Russ.
Well,
Thank you. Exactly.
He told you.
God, I just want to turn them both off. How's that? It gets so hot in the house, Katie.
No, you don't.
Oh, God, it is painful. We had a couple of people over. I had to jack the windows open in the dining room because it was genuinely a cesspool of heat.
My mom tells me she hesitates.
Thank you.
When she comes over, she adds extra layers because I keep it so cold. But I'm always cold, but I'm always under a blanket, always wear a sweatshirt because I'm cheap. And so it's like I'm cold, I'm cheap. These two things.
My mom always said put a sweatshirt on.
It's a real struggle.
Right.
I know when Paul tells me he's cold and he's standing in a t-shirt, I'm like, no.
You're fine.
No.
Have a great day, everyone.
Bye, guys.